So we're with Nebi Tsarni here at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Honors Weekend. He's getting honored with the Tricia Saunders High School Excellence Award over the next couple of days here. And just wanted to congratulate you on that honor. And all right, let's talk a little wrestling. How'd you get involved in wrestling? How did this sport become part of your life?
So my little brother started wrestling when he was really young, when he was 5. And so our whole family was swimming for basically all of us growing up and when we moved to America. But I was given the choice when I was in 7th grade to wrestle, or to choose between wrestling full-time or continue swimming. And so I had been in the room a few times. I went to a lot of wrestling camps, and I attended practices all the time. I just didn't compete. But once I was given that choice, I was like, I want to wrestle all the way. Because I loved the sport, and I knew it would give me more in terms of my growth, like physically and also emotionally and mentally. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, and at some point, you got enough training experience and leadership to get pretty good at it, right?
Yeah.
Were there some early mentors, people that were either coaches, teammates, others, maybe even within your family that help you decide, hey, I want to do this and I want to do it well?
Yeah, of course. So my first coach, Chris Brown, he was a really big deal in my life, and he still is. I still keep in touch with him, even though he moved to Colorado. But yeah, no, he was my coach and also my mentor. He took care of me. He took care of my siblings well. Yeah, he's just an amazing man, and I'm grateful that he helped me start. He basically taught me everything I knew. Mm-hmm. And so from there on, we started training at Capitol, I think the year or two before COVID, so it opened 2019. Mm-hmm. Coach Max has been a big deal. Coach John Morrison, before he came back to Chicago, he was the coach there. He was a very big deal with us as well. Yeah, he pushed the pace in the room.
I'm sure. I know him very well. He's
yeah.
a good man too, right?
Yeah,
but he certainly was a great coach. So you were exposed to some really good people in the sport. But, you know, I mean, when did you realize you had a chance to really be good and set high goals for yourself rather than just do it as a sport that you enjoyed?
So I knew that I had a lot of potential, but I don't think I would expect myself when I was 12 years old to be where I am now. And I am grateful that I am, and I'm honored for all the rewards and all the experience I've gained. I think what the breakthrough was after World Team Trials back in 2021. Mm-hmm. That was my first national tournament, and it was my first tournament that I All-Americaned at. And I got demolished the first day that I wrestled for, I think, 16U or 15U. And then I placed 4th for 14U, and I think that kind of made me feel prepared for Fargo, because I wasn't planning to go to that tournament, but for Fargo, after that tournament, I was like, okay, I know what the deal is, so I felt ready to be able to achieve what I wanted. I just kept telling myself, I'm going to be a national champ, I'm going to be a national champ, and became a national champ.
Yeah, but so, I mean, you've had some exceptional Fargos. I mean, what, you win 3 tournaments there? I mean,
yeah.
So in different age groups and everything. How did you get prepared and peak for that couple days in July every summer? Because, I mean, a lot of kids are at the beach, you know, right?
Yeah. I train. I don't go to a lot of tournaments. I would say I probably go to 3 big tournaments, and then aside from the season, yeah, my dad always prioritized training, and I think that is also important too, because as many tournaments as you go to, at the end of the day, it's what you do in the room that shows how you perform. So
I mean, you're part of the real explosive part of women's and girls wrestling right now. Maryland had their first official tournament this year. What was that like to be able to see girls wrestling put on a pedestal as an important state level sport this year in Maryland?
It's awesome. Honestly, the growth I've seen from even my sophomore year to now is insane. And there was one tournament in particular, Queen of the Jungle. Mm-hmm. I didn't go, but I remember prior to high school, there was no Queen of the Jungle. It was just King of the Jungle, and then there was a girls division. Right. And there was only one other girl I wrestled twice. And then I hear all my friends are at this tournament. My school didn't go, but they were telling me everyone was there, girls from Jersey even. I just think that's so amazing, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad it's getting to the point that it's at, and there's really nothing that we can't do, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this award has to do with things more than just wrestling. Obviously, you're a champion athlete, but it recognizes things like academics and community service. How important did you feel during your years in high school to do more than just be an athlete, to try to make sure that you excelled in the classroom, but also give back in the community? Why was that part of your life?
Everything to me is connected. So my first priority was always school. I had no problem missing one practice or maybe even a week of practice if I was falling behind. School has I think that is the basis for everything, because I could be a great athlete, but what does it mean if I'm not excelling elsewhere? So I think the way that my work ethic towards school, it also translated to wrestling. And I think just those ways, those interconnected. And also, I like helping people, even something as small as like coaching people or, being a role model. That translates outside of the wrestling room too. And I'm glad to have influenced or like affected any people, because people may forget you, your name, your face, but they'll never forget how you make them feel.
That's wonderful. I certainly know that over the years you've had that opportunity. You've taken the opportunity to help others, which is fantastic. Could you give me a little background on your decision or your ability to receive an appointment to the U.S. Air Force Academy and begin in a few weeks a military career, right? How'd that happen, and what was the process like for you to get that appointment and to make a decision to go to the Air Force Academy?
So my very first influence were my sisters. My oldest sister, she applied, but she ended up doing Navy ROTC at UMD, and then I have two sisters that one just graduated from the Air Force Academy. She's actually here with me this weekend.
Awesome.
And one is going to be a senior. So those are my biggest influences, along with Coach Brown, because he comes from Air Force, and then all of his sons too, grew up with them. So I think what they do is amazing. It's just been a goal of mine always. I couldn't see myself going anywhere else but an academy, and I've always wanted to fly or do something space related, and honestly the Air Force is just the best way to do that.
Now, you plan to continue wrestling with the RTC, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So what kind of goals do you still have in wrestling? Because obviously your high school career was very successful. What would you like to achieve as obviously you'll be an undergrad student and working on becoming an officer, but also wrestling in the next few years through the RTC?
So I've spoken with Coach Barber, and he's all for it as long as the girls are able to find a coach, because I want to make sure that, we're given the opportunity to train, but I also want to have us compete. So starting a girls program, not a girls program, but even just a girls mat club, it's not impossible. West Point has one. I think Navy has one as well. So I want to be able to help establish that. And then just to get the girls out and compete, hopefully we can find a coach or someone to take us to these tournaments.
Well, I think you will, but
yeah, I hope
there are only a few towns in the world that have as many wrestlers kicking around as Colorado Springs. It really has a wrestling culture, and as you get around it, and clearly there'll be times maybe you go down and train at the Olympic Training Center with some elite athletes that you'll be competing against at some point. So certainly you're going to a community that supports wrestling, which should be. But you know the challenges of going into a military academy academically and culturally. I mean, are you fired up for that? Because that's not going to be easy, is it?
Yeah, at all. I'm really excited, and I have a lot of goals. I'm ready to get in there and be focused. And
yeah, we only have a few more days. So
yeah,
they're ready for you, I'm sure. Actually, every year, I live in Colorado Springs, so every year when the new people come in and just start their career at the Air Force Academy, it's a front page story, right?
Yeah. Because
it's a big deal in that community for people to make the decision to serve their country, which you've done now. So what was it like when you were told that you'd receive this award? It's a very special award, and for many years it was just one that they did for the boys, but they've really worked hard here at the Hall of Fame to make sure that the recognition for the girls is given equal weight and a real focus. What was it like for you to say, hey, come on out, we'd like to recognize you and your family this weekend, when you heard that?
It is beyond an honor. I was speechless when my dad told me. I think it's amazing to not only have this award exist to recognize these female athletes, even the regional award. I think it's all amazing. But to be chosen as the national recipient, so amazing. And I think it's an honor. And I thank everyone for the National Hall of Fame. I thank my coaches and everyone who helped me along the way, all the partners I've had.
Yeah. You have some family out here. You mentioned you had a sister coming down.
Yeah, I'm with her. She's going to be my presenter along with her husband.
Awesome.
So, yeah, they'll be here tonight and tomorrow.
Congratulations. I've always enjoyed watching you wrestle, but
thank you.
You know, we're looking forward to you taking the next step in your life pretty soon. So
thank you, sir.
Excellent. Congratulations.